with no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now this is a song about rights and wrongs. I wrote it cause this ain't fun, and it ain't funny. What's next? You gonna choose what movie I can see? Try to censor what we can say. Get out of my way, we the people. Nazis are back.
I'm Harris Chilikoski, and I don't know if you've heard about this song that I wrote yet, but well, I wanted to tell you a little bit about, tiny bit about me, a little bit about the song, and you know why I wrote it, and a little bit about how I wrote it, and how I put it together. So just for fun, if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, by trade, I'm a violinist. That's what I was trained to do. And I'm an old guy, and but I try to keep up with, technology and stuff. So here I am doing the podcast. So, right, well, I figured out how to become like a recording engineer along the way also, and a producer, so that I could be able to put stuff like this together. So, as you notice, on this recording, there's no violin on it. It's all voices. It's all spoken. That was... I shouldn't say that it's all spoken. I hear a little bit of singing in there. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm a musician, and, I'm playing in orchestras and, getting hired by people to make music, and sometimes putting together my own thing like this. And I've been told over the years that musicians should just play their music and shut up. I think that a lot of people get told to just do what they're trained to do and don't talk about anything controversial. But that doesn't come naturally to me because I'm a little bit of a loudmouth. So, and I'm a little bit of a political wonk also. Although I shouldn't say I'm an expert. So I promise you that I am not going to be quoting any numbers. Okay? No numbers about how many people like my music. No numbers about how many people show up for demonstrations or marches. No numbers about how many immigrants there are coming into this country. No numbers about how many people have health care and how many people don't. No numbers. But we know there's issues. So I'll just talk about the issues because, I'm not going to make up any numbers and get caught saying, you didn't give me the right numbers, you gave us fake numbers, hey. Well, anyway, so I figure, it's not just me that's getting told that, we should just do our thing and not talk about it. It's kind of hard for somebody who actually writes lyrics because a lot of times we hear stuff, we see stuff, and we experience stuff in life, and so we write about it. We draw pictures about it. We write music about it. That's what artists do. We reflect on what's going on around us. Not all musicians do exactly that. Some people think that Mozart wasn't very political, but wait a minute. He wrote all those operas, and they poked a lot of fun in his comic operas at his rulers. Some of the people that were actually paying the bills for him, So I guess there's some precedent for this, huh? So, like, it's not just us musicians, too. It's artists, it's scientists, it's doctors, it's nurses, it's government workers, it's teachers, policemen, women, people from any kind of small minority, like gay people, Jews, Muslims, Chinese people, people from pretty much any country. People who do different jobs, first responders, children, students, Hey, by the way, just the other day, a whole bunch of medical students were lying down on the ground in New York. Did you hear about that? Anyway, scientists need to be heard, and that was the thing that inspired me a lot. Because, like, I'm a science wonk, too. I love, space. I love the stars. I love, all that great stuff about, Elon Musk and SpaceX and all those great new companies that are coming online that are making spaceships and stuff. But hey, even they have to speak up once in a while about what's going on. So everybody pretty much has something that they might be concerned about enough that they would actually want to get up and maybe demonstrate for what they believe in. Go march. And I think we should march with them. People are concerned about other people that are trying to escape from the horrors of war, poverty, ignorance. They have to be heard. We have to march with them. Women, people of all ethnicities, and races, people with that are human beings with feelings and needs, and we need to march with them. So, and we need to seek out and reveal the truth. Then we can begin to heal. So we got to march. So I wrote and produced this in a kind of a funky rap style. It's good for marching, Oh yeah, and that's right. That whole first part is all quoted from the Declaration of Independence. You might be familiar with it. And I also got a few quotes there from the Constitution of the United States. So, educators, beware. There's a couple of words in there that might not be, your principal might not allow you to play it for your younger kids or whatever. But, they're all listening to it. So anyway, I call it the March for Truth. It's got like a kind of a subtitle. It's called Rights and Wrongs, which is one of the lyrics that comes up in there. Rights, of course, could be human rights, but it could also be the Bill of Rights. Because that's where a lot of our, constitutional guidelines come from. And wrongs. So the first part is that quote from, it's Article 1, Amendment 1, freedom of expression and religion. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And I kind of think that was right on, because there's a lot of people right now that feel that they have grievances with the current government. So I'm not going to quote you the entire song, but just want to say that, the idea is that we the people, that's what our government's all about. It's supposed to represent the people. And so, yeah, you know what the arguments are. I'm sure you've heard on the news about The fact that our president currently was voted in with the majority of the electoral college's vote, but not the majority of the people of the country. So we the people, unfortunately, doesn't feel for a lot of people like that's getting represented by our government. So, but, you know, that's not even the worst thing. The worst thing is this air of this fear that this is going to become a government of totalitarianism. That's my fear anyway. And that's why first real verse is, and I know that this expression has been thrown around a little bit lately, but basically it comes right out and says it. Nazis are back. Nazis are back, man. Nazis. You know, some people think Nazis are cool. Nazis are not cool. Nazis were the people who took over the country of Germany. And I know a lot about it. I visited a lot of, I spent a lot of time in Germany. I've worked there, I've lived there. And I love Germany today. But if I had lived there during the Second World War or just before that, I probably would have been killed. And a lot of my people were killed and tortured and starved and humiliated because they were Jews. And, no matter how you feel about what's going on in other places, everybody's got a right to, anyway, I digress. Doesn't matter who you voted for in this election, we're all fucked. Even the people that voted for him. And for the whole new administration. Because it's changed. It's not the kinder, gentler Republican Party of previous administrations. This is Nazism. Anyway, if we want to get back to what the truth really is, we're going to have to march. So that's what this song's all about. March for the truth. March, march. So, anyway, again, I'm not going to quote all the lyrics from this song because that's going to take a while. I notice I've already played the song almost twice all the way through, and I know for a fact that this song is more than 5 minutes long, so I've taken way too much of your valuable time already. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. I thought this was going to be really boring. There's only one guy sitting here. It's only me. I don't have a comedian sitting next to me, to make it funny. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, well, look around. You can see my studio here. Hey, here's the piano where I wrote, some of the notes, for the tune. Yeah. So, actually, it brings me to that, how did I write this thing? I wanted to, because like some people are interested in how you write a song. I just wanted to, tell you a little bit about, because I don't know, there's different ways of writing songs. Some people say, write the words first, write the music first, write a drum track first. Yeah, so I don't know. I did a combination of all those different things. So I'm going to see if I can try something, take a couple of screenshots and show you my production area, which is inside the computer. So it's like, so, well, it's software, okay? But the software emulates, if you don't know, if you're not a music producer or a musician yourself, you might not know how these things work. It's, you might be familiar with, if you had an Apple computer with GarageBand, which is a kind of a stripped down version of the software that I use, which is a DAW. We call it a DAW. It's a DAW, or a digital audio workstation, which simulates the layout of a recording studio. So, I've got a small mixing board over here. You can see it right over. Where's my mixing board? Yeah, you can see the mixer right over there. Yeah, let's see. Whoops. How do you point to things? Yeah. You see my after the coffee cup. Yeah, right over there. The little lights, the little Christmas tree lights. That's a small mixer. But when you open up, I'll show you. When you open up the, I use Logic Pro. The software is gonna simulate a whole big recording board with multiple, unlimited number of tracks. I used to work in recording studios a long time ago because I'm an old guy. When they used to use tape, magnetic tape, these spools, but they weren't little spools. They were like this big. They were enormous because to fit 64 tracks or whatever, or 32 tracks onto magnetic tape, it had to be wider depending on how many tracks there were on the tape. Anyway, nowadays it's all digital, so you don't have to have all that stuff. It all fits in tiny little chip. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my I'm just going to pause this for a second and turn on Logic and give you a little gander at how I set up some of my tracks. This is the tune. So here's my play button, just like on a tape recorder. You can hear it's the same tune. So you can see down here which instrument it is that's playing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just make it a little easier for you to see these tracks. So in fact, I did use that technique of setting up a track first. So before I recorded, I did have the words pretty much written up, and gradually developed the words a little bit more and changed some of them. Originally, I had in there a little paragraph about everybody has to be Christian and stuff like that, and they want you to hate anyone who ain't Christian and doesn't look like them, walk their walk, talk their talk. But I took that out because it was getting a little specific and kind of argumentative. I really wanted this to be kind of an inspiring song that would make you want to kind of dance as you're marching, So what I did was, I really started with the drum line. So this is the drum line right over here, and you can see I've opened up my drummer. His name is Maurice, and he made up these drum tracks for me, because he was a nice guy. And so here's just the drum track soloed out. So, when you're setting up a rhythm section, which basically is what you want for this kind of thing, you're going to start out probably with drums. You got your beat. And then you're going to add in some kind of a bass line. So here's my bass line right over here. So now this drum line is, you can see the waveforms here. So it's basically an audio recording. They're clips that are fashioned into verses. It's a little different kind of playing for the verse and for the chorus and for the intro that's at the beginning here. So that's the drum line. You see that the markings here show actual, those are like waveforms, like you would see in an oscilloscope if it showed a representation of what the sound looked like in waveforms. This track, though, is a MIDI track, so it is just these little bars, that play little notes that represent the notes that we're playing in the bass line. And they are like a player piano. And when you play it back, just like a player piano, or one of those little music boxes with a little rinky-tinky thing inside, that preset thing that I wrote out is going to make this dirty synth bass synthesized sound actually play back. So let's see if that actually works. This will be my bass line. Here we go. That sounds pretty good. So, but I didn't want just a simple bass sound. So what I did was I copied, after I wrote this on the keyboard that I showed you before, these notes for the bass to play. Then I copied them and pasted them into another track, but with a different instrument. The first track had dirty synth bass. The second track has this colossal synthesized bass, synth bass. So that's this one. And then what I did was, when I'm playing it back, I combined it with the other bass player. Sounds really funky, really dirty. So here's it from the top again. And of course, I performed and worked on that over and over again so that it fit pretty well, I hope, with the rhythm of my drummer. So here's the original drum track. Again. And then we add in the two bass players. Whoops. Here we go. And then on top of that, I also added in this synth instrument over here that I kind of worked on a little bit. It says ESC, but it's actually not an ESC. It's actually an Alchemy instrument. That's this thing over here, which is they call it this particular patch is called Voxbox Synth. So that's what that is. Okay, so you may have noticed that I was hitting this little S button, which of course stands for solo. So each time I want to listen to one track, each one of these is a track, by itself, I just hit this S button, so I can just listen to that one alone. Just Crate Digger, which is the drum patch or the drum player, or the dirty synth bass, just hit that S. There you go. And then this instrument down here, we listened to that one, I think. Let's see, we'll solo that one. So join me for the next podcast. Here at home, here at home, here at home, here at home. Thank you, Mr. President, for bringing the troops back home. We've got plenty of battles to fight right here at home. We We've got people who hate us, even though they don't even know us. Here at home, here at home. So here we must stand together. Together we must fight our own little battles right here at home. People hate who we are, though they don't even know us. People beat your senses because of how you were born. Don't care how great this country is, they're ready to tear it apart. They hate you for your quiet strength, they don't understand. We share the wealth and happiness we've created here at home. Here at home, here at home, here at home, here at home. Listen, Mr. President, I'm teaching a child to share. She is learning the lesson well right here at home. She's the present and we are the past. Her future is coming fast. Here at home, here at home. So please, Mr. President, keep her safe, for she is the hope. We'll reach a new level. No matter what color we are, and no matter how we pray, we're all members of a big old family. But caring must be taught to children. Plenty of families fight. We're brothers and sisters who follow the light. Learn to live together instead of fighting in the night. Here at home, here at home, here at home, here at home. But before we teach